Hi, my name is Daniel for Coder Prodigy, and in this video I'm going to teach you how to program a small story with some characters in Scratch. So here's how this project in this video is going to look like. When you start the project, when you click the green flag, this character will appear on screen, this cat, and will ask for my name. I'm going to type my name here, Daniel, and the cat will greet me saying, "Hello, Daniel." And after that, it will say, "Let me show you around," and this will start walking in this scenery, and then a new character, a flying cat, will appear on screen, and these two characters will run a small dialogue. "Hello, Jack, how are you? I'm having fun," and I was showing the surroundings to Daniel, and then the flying cat will keep doing its superhero things, and it will fly around, and then this other character will walk to the end of the stage. So this will be a show of how you can program your own stories in Scratch, and I'm going to teach you everything there is to know about it. Now, this video is for people who already know how to use Scratch and have a Scratch account, but if you don't worry, I'm going to show you everything that you need to do. So, I'm going to ask you to go to the Scratch homepage at scratch.mit.edu. This is the homepage of the Scratch website. Now, Scratch will ask you to log in or to create your own account before you can use Scratch. So if you don't have a Scratch account, I recommend that you create one now, and if you need any help, ask a parent or an adult to help. And once you have an account, click here where it says My Stuff, this icon that looks like a folder, and click here, and this will lead you to the page where you have all your Scratch projects set up. So you don't have to install anything on your computer, you have all the projects here on the side. And then click on this button to add a new project. Now, if you've used Scratch before, here on the left-hand side, we have a bunch of blocks with which you can write scripts and program. On the right-hand side here, we have the stage where everything that you code in the middle of the screen will happen. And then here below, you have controls for the characters and for the backdrops. First, we will add a backdrop for our project. So click here on the bottom-hand side and then go to this tab with backdrops. And here we have a small editor where we can add our backdrops. I want you to go here at the bottom where it says choose a backdrop, and you will have a menu here to choose a bunch of backdrops here. I'm going to choose Boardwalk here, which is what you saw at the beginning of the video. So click on Boardwalk, and there you have our first background of our project. So again, in order to set a backdrop, you need to click here at the bottom right-hand side, and then click the Backdrops tab, and then click this icon to choose a backdrop, and then choose Boardwalk. Good, so we have our backdrop. Then I want you to click on this character over here where it says Sprite1. This is the name of our first character, and I'm going to name this character Jack. This is our first cat, and we will place Jack here on the left-hand side of the screen. And after that, we can start programming this small character. So I want you to go back to the first tab where it says Code, and we will start adding our first script. Scripts are made of these blocks over here, and the blocks are executed in order. So when you create a script, the computer will execute them one by one, and by doing that, you, the programmer, will specify every single thing that these characters will do on the screen. Let me give an example. So I'm going to go to the Events section, this yellow section, and I'm going to drag this block which says when flag clicked. So this is our first script. When the flag is clicked, whatever I'm going to put here after that is going to be executed. And I'm going to go to the motion section, the blue section, and I'm going to bring in this go-to block. And this go-to block has two numbers inside, which specify the position of this character on the screen. So if I say go to X0 and Y0, if I click on the green flag over here, this character will move to the center of the screen. This is what X0 and Y0 mean. So if I click the flag, notice that the cat moves to the exact center of the stage. Now, if I move the cat, if I drag it around and I click the green flag again, the cat will reset to the middle of the screen because that's what this script says. Now, if I want to move the cat roughly around here at the left side of the boardwalk, notice the coordinates here, the positions. X is minus 172 and Y is minus 49. I'm going to use some round numbers here, so I'm going to use minus 170 and Y is minus 50. So when I click the green flag, the cat will reset to this exact position. All right. Now, if I add another block, the cat will do that thing as well. So for example, if the cat will introduce itself, let me go to looks the purple section and I'm going to drag in this say block. When the flag is clicked, this go-to block will be executed, which will bring cat to the left side of the screen, and then the purple block will be executed, which will say hello for 2 seconds. So watch this. If I drag the cat somewhere on the screen, if I click the flag, the cat will be brought here on the left-hand side. It will say hello, and after 2 seconds, the speech bubble will disappear. All right, let's add some more blocks to this script. So I'm going to go to the control, this small orange section, and I'm going to add a wait block. So after saying hello, I'm going to wait for 1 second, and then I'm going to make this cat ask for my name. So I'm going to go to this light blue sensing section, and I'm going to bring in this ask block, what's your name, and wait. So what's your name will trigger a small dialog here, which will allow us to type our name. So let's click on the flag and look at the cat saying hello, and after 1 more second, it will say, what's your name? And it will wait for your answer. So notice that we programmed the cat to do several things in sequence. Now, after I type in my name, let's say Daniel, then the program will stop because there are no more blocks here. Let's make use of whatever we type into this input block. So after 1 more second, let me go to the light orange control section and bring in the wait block and put it right after that. After a second, I'm going to make this cat greet me, saying hello, and with whatever I type in here, for example, Daniel. So I'm going to go back to the purple looks section, and I'm going to bring in this say block again. And instead of saying hello, I'm going to say hello, Daniel. But Daniel is something that I type here into the input block that the cat will pop up when it says, what's your name? So we will have to make sure that we can use whatever we type into that input. And the way that we do that is by going to the light blue sensing section and by using this rounded block answer. This answer variable, this answer will be the value that we type into this input block. So if the cat says answer for 2 seconds, the cat will simply echo back whatever I type into that input. Watch me. So if I click the block, it will say hello, and after that it will say, what's your name? And I'm going to type in Daniel, and after a second, the cat will say Daniel back to me. But I want the cat to say hello, Daniel. So I'm going to have to combine this answer with a string like hello. And for that, we have a special kind of block, which is in the green section, the operator section. And I'm going to bring in this join block and I'm going to put it right where it says hello. So instead of saying hello, it will say whatever is joined from hello, comma, and then a space. All right. And in the second space, I'm going to put in my answer. So if I type in Daniel, this cat will say hello, Daniel for 2 seconds. Let's test it out. So I'm going to run the code and say hello, what's your name? I'm going to type in Daniel, and after 1 more second, the cat will say hello, Daniel back to me. So the cat is now being polite. Now, let's program the cat to do some more things. I'm going to make the cat invite us to show us around. So I'm going to say, hello, Daniel, let me show you around. And after that, I'm going to move the cat alongside this boardwalk over here. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back to the purple look section, and I'm going to add another say block. Let me show you around. And I'm going to have this message on screen for 1 second instead of 2 seconds. And after that, I'm going to make the cat actually make some steps in the direction right, so towards the right side of this boardwalk. Now, how do we make the cat actually move on the screen? In order to move the cat from the left to the right side of the boardwalk, we can use motion blocks. So we can go to motion and drag in this move 10 steps. Right now, I have it here in open space, so it's not connected to a script, but I can trigger it by clicking on it. So if I say move 10 steps, notice that the cat starts to move towards the right, but it's kind of like translated. It's like floating around. So instead of translating like that, I want to make the cat seem like it's actually making some steps. And in order to do that, we will make use of the 2 costumes that this cat comes with. So if you go to the costumes tab here here on the upper left-hand side of your screen, the costumes of this cat are two. We have a costume, meaning an appearance, that looks something like this. And we have another costume, another appearance, which looks like a cat making a step. So we can cycle between these two costumes and make the cat look like it's making some steps. So instead of saying just move 10 steps, which would simply translate this cat along the screen, instead of moving 10 steps, I'm also going to chain that with something from the look section, from the purple section. So I'm going to click here and I'm going to say next costume. So if I do move 10 steps and then next costume, after the cat has translated a small amount on the screen, the cat will take the other appearance, which will make the cat look like it's making a step. So let me drag the cat to the left side of the stage and let me click these two blocks. So just click once and notice that the cat has moved a little bit to the right and the appearance has changed. And if I do this a number of times, notice that the cat seems like it's actually making some steps. So in order to make the cat seem like it's moving on the screen, I'm going to simply repeat these two blocks. And Scratch has a dedicated block for that. It's called a repeat loop. So I'm going to go to Control, the light orange section, and I'm going to drag in repeat 10, which is a particular kind of block, and I'm going to wrap these two blocks inside. So move 10 steps and next costume will be repeated 10 times automatically. And just to make the cat actually move a little bit on the screen, instead of moving 10 steps, I'm going to say move 20 steps. So this sequence, move 20 steps and next costume, will be repeated 10 times by the computer by this repeat loop. So if I click this block, notice that the cat will automatically make all of these steps really, really quickly because the computer is very fast. And so in order for us to make the cat seem like it's making steps one at a time, we're going to also add a small wait block inside the repeat loop. So notice where I'm placing this block. And I'm going to wait 0.5 seconds. 0.5 seconds meaning half a second. So let me put this at the left side of the stage. And if I click this block, notice that the cat is making one step at a time and is moving slowly to the right side of the boardwalk. Now, with this repeat loop, we can attach it to the other script that we wrote earlier. So I'm going to drag this repeat loop and I'm going to attach it to the end of the script that we wrote before. So now, when we click the flag, the cat will reset to the left side of the stage and it will ask for a name, let's say Daniel, and the cat will say, "Hello, Daniel, let me show you around," and then it will start moving to the right side of the boardwalk. This is awesome. All right, so we've programmed Jack the cat to appear on the stage, tell us a few things, ask for our name, and move to the right of the boardwalk. This is great. Now, let's do something a little bit more exciting. Now, I'm going to add another character to this project by having a flying superhero cat appearing on the stage right at the same time as Jack walks along the boardwalk. This flying cat will appear in the sky and will fly up to Jack's position. So I'm going to go here at the bottom right side of the stage and I'm going to say choose a sprite. So go here and pick choose a sprite. And now I'm going to ask you to go to search and type in cat. And you have a bunch of cat options here. You have the original cat that we have on our project. And I'm going to click on this cat flying thing. And I'm going to add this new character on our project. So now we have a different character here that we named cat flying. I'm actually going to call this superhero cat. And we can program this character as well. Now, at the beginning of our project, the superhero cat should not really appear on screen. I'm going to make the superhero fly here, appear on the left side of the stage, and fly horizontally here up to Jack's position when Jack starts moving alongside the boardwalk. So at the beginning, the superhero cat will not appear on the stage. So first, click on the superhero cat and let's program it to be hidden from screen when we click the flag when we start our project. So go to the yellow events section and drag in the when flag clicked block. And when the flag is clicked, we want to hide the sprite from view. So go to the purple looks section and scroll a little bit down and bring in the hide block. So right now, when we click the flag, notice that our character Jack the cat is doing its thing and the superhero cat does not appear on the screen. Now, we need a way to tell the superhero cat to appear on the screen when Jack starts to move alongside the boardwalk. So I'm going to go to Jack and I'm going to click on the Jack character. And I'm going to add a special kind of block, which is called a broadcast. A broadcast is a signal that a sprite, like Jack, can send to all the other sprites in your project, for example, the superhero cat, and instruct them to do something. Let me show you what I mean. So I'm going to go to the yellow events section, and I'm going to drag the broadcast block here, and I'm going to broadcast a special message. I'm going to click on this drop down and I'm going to create a new signal or a new message. And this message, I'm going to name this superhero fly in. So when this superhero fly in message is triggered or sent by Jack the character, we can then program our superhero cat to do something. So right before Jack starts to move alongside the boardwalk via this repeat block as we programmed it earlier, we are going to insert this broadcast message right before that. And in the meantime, the superhero cat will do its own thing, which will appear on screen and fly right to roughly this position. Right, so I'm going to drag this yellow block right before the repeat block. So after the cat says, let me show you around for 1 second, right at that moment, this signal, which you do not see on screen, but it's a signal to the other sprites to do something, it's going to be sent. And right after that, Jack will start walking down the boardwalk. And in the meantime, the superhero cat will run its own thing as a reaction to this signal. So I'm going to click on the superhero cat and I'm going to bring in this block when I receive superhero flying. Notice that it's a start of the script. So whenever a sprite, that is the Jack character, broadcasts the signal superhero flying, we can program this other character, superhero cat, to do something. So I'm going to run the following code. First of all, I'm going to make the superhero cat appear on the screen. So not be hidden anymore, but visible. So I'm going to go to the purple look section and I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to bring in the show block. But the show block will simply make the superhero cat visible wherever that is on the screen, which is currently right here. But I want to make the superhero cat appear on the left side of the screen. And so I have to move it or change its coordinates. So I'm going to go to the motion section, the blue section, and I'm going to bring in this go to block. So I'm going to specify the position of the sprite on the screen once it becomes visible. So I'm going to go to x minus 240, that is the left edge of the screen, and y is 90, which is roughly in the middle of the sky. All right, so let's click on the green flag and see what we have right now. So if we click the flag, Jack will start running its dialogue, saying hello, and then what's your name? And the superhero cat is invisible on the screen. So I'm going to type in my name, Daniel. The cat will say, hello, Daniel, let me show you around. And right at the moment when Jack starts walking down the boardwalk, this superhero fly-in message was sent, was broadcast, and at the moment this message is received by superhero cat, it runs these code blocks in sequence. First of all, it appears on screen and then it moves to the edge of the screen. But I don't want the superhero cat to appear instantly. I want it to wait a few seconds and then simply fly towards this position over here. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to the control section, the light orange one. And I'm going to bring in a wait block, and I'm going to wait right before I'm going to show the character on screen. I'm going to wait for 3 seconds. I'm going to show it. Then I'm going to move the superhero cat to the left edge of the screen. And then I'm going to make it move slowly towards this position. So I'm going to go to the motion section again. And I'm going to bring in this very interesting block that's called glide a few seconds to another position. So I'm going to glide for 2 seconds to another position. X, I'm going to use the coordinate 80, and the coordinate 80 is right around here, and the same vertical coordinate 90. So it will stay at the same height in the middle of the sky. So here's how this will work. If I click the flag, Jack will start doing its dialogue, hello, and asking for my name. I'm going to say Daniel. Jack will say hello, Daniel, and will say, let me show you around. And right after 1 second, Jack will start moving down the boardwalk. And 3 seconds after that start, the superhero cat will appear on screen and will glide towards this position. All right, so that signal, the superhero fly-in, triggered another code block that's executed in the meantime. So while Jack is moving down the boardwalk, the superhero cat is simply flying to this new position. Now, at this moment, we want these two characters to run a small dialogue. All right, so this is already pretty cool. Now, after Jack and the superhero reach this position, I want Jack to introduce himself to the superhero. So I'm going to click on Jack again. And after it's moved down the boardwalk, after the repeat loop has finished, I want Jack to say something. So I'm going to go to looks, and I'm going to bring in the say block, and I'm going to say, wow, a superhero cat. Hey, I'm Jack. All right, so I want Jack to say this line over here and then send a signal to the superhero to reply back. And we've already noticed how we can send a signal to other sprites to do something via the broadcast block. So we are going to broadcast a new message. I'm going to go to the events, the yellow section, and I'm going to bring in the block broadcast. And instead of superhero fly-in, which is the previous signal, we're going to define a new message, a new signal, and I'm going to name this Jack said hello to superhero. All right, now, when this message is being received on the other sprite, so I'm going to click on the superhero sprite now, and I'm going to start another script with when I receive Jack said hello to superhero, I want the superhero to say something back to Jack. So I'm going to say when I receive say hello to superhero, I'm going to wait for 1 second. So I'm going to bring in this light orange block. And after a second, I want the superhero to say something to Jack, like, hello, Jack, how are you? So I'm going to go to looks, and I'm going to bring in the say hello block. And instead of hello, I'm going to say, hello, Jack, how are you? All right. And after this reply is visible on the screen via speech bubble, I want to send a signal back to Jack. So I'm going to go to events, and I'm going to bring in the broadcast block, and I'm going to snap it here. And the signal will be different. I'm going to say new message, and I'm going to name this message superhero replied. Now, this message, superhero replied, will be received in the Jack sprite, and we can trigger Jack to do something else. So I'm going to create another script here with when I receive. So in the Jack sprite, make sure you click on the Jack sprite. And I'm going to add another script starting with when I received, and from this dropdown, I'm going to select superhero replied. So when the superhero has replied, I want Jack to do something else. So I'm going to say, for example, I'm having fun and was showing the surroundings to Daniel. All right. So I'm going to go to looks, and I'm going to bring in the say block, and I'm going to say, I'm having fun. I was having fun. And I'm showing the area to Daniel. But it doesn't have to be Daniel here. It has to be whatever I type here in my first line, in my first input when Jack asks for my name. And so I can use the same trick as I used earlier and use the join block and join a few strings together. So I'm going to go to operators and I'm going to bring in the join block and I'm going to copy this text over here and I'm going to paste it here. I was having fun and I'm showing the area 2, and instead of Daniel here, I'm going to use this other space, and instead of banana, which is what Scratch gives you by default, I'm going to go to the light blue section from sensing and I'm going to bring in the answer. And the answer is whatever I typed earlier in the first input when Jack asked for my name. So I'm going to bring in the result of this join operation to the input of the block say. So when the superhero replies, the Jack cat will say, I was having fun and I'm showing the area to Daniel. Let's see what we have so far. So I'm going to click on the green flag and Jack says hello, superhero is invisible. What's your name? I'm going to type in Daniel. After a second, Jack will say hello, Daniel. Let me show you around. And while Jack is moving on the stage, the superhero flies in and say, wow, superhero, I'm Jack. Hello, Jack. How are you? I was having fun and I'm showing the area to Daniel. Now, I'm going to need to add a space here because otherwise the text is not really that visible. So let's run this program again because this probably ran quite fast. So I'm going to click the flag again. Cat says hello and asks for my name. I'm going to type it again, Daniel. Hello, Daniel. Jack starts moving around. In the meantime, the superhero flies. And watch the dialogue. Wow, a superhero cat. Hey, I'm Jack. Hello, Jack. How are you? And then I was having fun and I'm showing the area to Daniel. And now the program has stopped. Now, after this reply, the superhero can reply, nice to see you, Jack. I'm going to do some superhero stuff and fly around. And then we want the superhero to simply continue the superhero flight and disappear from the stage. So after Jack says, I was having fun and I'm showing the area to Daniel, the superhero can reply, nice to meet you, Jack. And I'm going to go do some superhero stuff and then glide again to the edge of the stage. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to broadcast another message here after the I was having fun line. And I'm going to go to the yellow section events and I'm going to broadcast another message. I'm going to create a new one and I'm going to say Jack replied back. And in the other sprite, the superhero sprite, we can create another script following Jack replied back. So I'm going to click on the superhero and I'm going to add yet another script when I receive Jack replied back. So make sure you have Jack replied back here selected. So when Jack replies back, we want the superhero to wait for a little bit and say, nice stuff, Jack, or nice to meet you. I'll go do some flying cat things now, and then make the superhero fly away from the screen. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to control, the control section, and I'm going to wait for 1 second and then display that line on the screen. And I'm going to go to looks and I'm going to bring in the say block. And I'm going to say, nice stuff, Jack. Nice to meet you. I'm going to go do some superhero stuff now. Okay, so after Jack replies back, the superhero says, nice stuff, Jack, nice to meet you. I'm going to go do some superhero stuff now. And after a couple of seconds, we want the superhero to fly away from the screen. So I'm going to go back to control. I'm going to wait for a little bit so that the program doesn't go away too quickly. So after 2 seconds, I'm going to use the exact same glide block that I used earlier when we made the superhero appear on the stage in the first place. So I'm going to go to the motion section and I'm going to bring in the glide block and I'm going to glide for 1 second to X, and I'm going to use the number 240, which is the maximum right coordinate here on the screen, and the same Y coordinate 90. So I'm going to make the superhero fly horizontally away from the screen, and then I'm going to hide it. So we'll make the superhero disappear from the screen. So go to the purple look section, and I'm going to bring in the hide block, not the show block. the hide block. Okay, so I'm going to click the flag now and see how we are doing. Hello, what's your name? I'm going to use Daniel here. Jack will say, hello, Daniel. Let me show you around, and then start walking. The superhero flies in. And then the two characters are doing the dialogue. Hello, Jack, how are you? I was having fun and showing the area to Daniel. And after a second, nice stuff, Jack. Nice to meet you. I'm going to go do some superhero stuff. And after 2 seconds, it will fly to the edge of the stage. And then finally, it will disappear. This is awesome. All right, finally, let's program Jack to be really surprised about the appearance of the superhero, like, wow, did you see that? Awesome. Now, let me show you the beach or something like that, all right? So we will make Jack tell us one more thing, and then make Jack walk to the right edge of the stage, and then make Jack completely disappear from our story. So I'm going to go to Jack, and after Jack replied back, I'm going to wait a little bit for the superhero to take its flight. So I'm going to go to the control section and bring in the wait 5 seconds, and I'm going to put in 5 seconds here. So I'm going to wait for the superhero to fly away, and then I'm going to make Jack express his surprise here. So I'm going to bring in the say block from the purple section, from the purple look section, and I'm going to say, wow, did you see that? Awesome. Cool. Now, let me show you the beach, for example, right? So after the superhero flies away, Jack will say, wow, did you see that? Awesome. Cool. Now, let me show you the beach, okay? And after it displays that for 2 seconds, we want Jack to walk to the right edge of the stage. And we know how to make Jack walk by doing a repeat loop in which we move 20 steps, next costume, and wait a little bit of time. So I'm going to bring those 3 blocks now. So I'm going to go to motion, and I'm going to bring in move, and I'm going to say move 20 steps. And notice I'm bringing this in open space. So move 20 steps, then go to looks, and then I'm going to say next costume. And right after that, I'm going to go to control, and I'm going to bring in the wait block, and I'm going to wait 0.5 seconds, exactly the same as we did last time. So move 20 steps, next costume, and wait. Now, I need to wrap all of these in a repeat loop so that the computer can run these blocks automatically until something happens. And I'm going to bring in the repeat until block. So I'm going to bring in this loop, repeat until a condition is true. So not repeat 10, but repeat until a condition is true. And the condition that we want to place here is Jack touching the edge of the stage? So we're going to go to the light blue sensing section, and I'm going to bring in the first block, touching. And I'm going to place this diamond-shaped block inside this space over here and repeat until touching. And from this drop-down, I'm going to select edge. So the computer will repeat these 3 blocks, one after another, until touching the right side of the stage. And I'm going to snap this repeat loop here after the line. Wow, did you see that? Awesome. Cool. And now let me show you the beach. So let's see how we are doing right now. So clicking the flag, hello, what's your name? So we already have that, Daniel. And then we have, hello, Daniel. Let me show you around. And Jack will start walking down the boardwalk. In the meantime, the superhero flies, and then the two will exchange some lines. Hey, I'm Jack. Hello, Jack. How are you? I was having fun, and I'm showing the area to Daniel. And then, nice stuff, Jack. Nice to meet you. I'm going to do some superhero stuff. Flying away. Wow, did you see that? Awesome. Cool. Now let me show you the beach. And now Jack will walk down the right side of the boardwalk until it's touching the edge of the stage. And notice that Jack is now touching the edge of the screen with Jack's cheek over here. And after that, once Jack touches the edge of the stage, we want to hide Jack from view and complete our story. So I'm going to go to looks, the purple section, and I'm going to bring in the hide block so that we make Jack disappear from the screen. So let's try that again. So we have hello. What's your name? Daniel. And then hello, Daniel. Let me show you around. And then Jack will start walking down the boardwalk. The superhero will fly in, and then the two of them will exchange some dialog. Hello, Jack. How are you? I'm having fun. Showing the area to Daniel. Nice stuff, Jack. I'm going to do some superhero stuff now. And then the superhero will fly away. Wow, did you see that? Awesome. Now let me show you the beach. And then Jack will move to the edge of the stage. And then finally, it will disappear from view. Now, the only thing that we need to do right now is that at the beginning of the program, when we click the flag, we make sure that Jack is visible on the screen, because now we've hidden it, and the next time we start the program, notice that Jack will not be visible here on the stage. And so I'm going to say when the flag is clicked, the first block of code will be to show this character on the screen. So now when the flag is clicked, Jack will be visible and saying hello to us, and now our story is complete. So once more, let's do this one more time. Hello. What's your name? My name is Daniel. Hello, Daniel. And then let me show you around, and Jack will start walking down the boardwalk. Superhero flies in, and Jack will say, wow, a superhero cat. Hey, I'm Jack. Hello, Jack. How are you? I was having fun, and I'm showing the area to Daniel. Nice stuff, Jack. Nice to meet you. I'm going to do some superhero stuff now, and the superhero will fly around. Wow, did you see that? Cool. Let me show you the beach. And then Jack will start moving down the boardwalk until it disappears from view, and our story is complete. So this is how you can create your own stories in Scratch, and you can make them as long and as complex as you like. I hope you liked this video, and I'm going to share this project and give you the link to this project in the video description so you can check out the story that I've just created in this video for you. And I'm going to say Jack and a superhero cat. And once you click on the project, you can remix it and bring it into your own profile and modify it as you see fit. I hope you liked this video. If you liked, go ahead and click the like button and subscribe for me, and check out coderprodigy.com. It's a website where I teach you how to make your own stories and games and applications in Scratch and other programming languages. Until next time, I'm Daniel. Thanks for watching my video.